Like, is there a sliding doors moment that you feel, what if?
The biggest one is probably the way I started in the Gold Coast.
Okay, what was your thoughts on the scuffle? You reckon it's a bit of overkill?
Yeah, I mean, like the refs obviously have a job to do, but I don't think anyone should have been sin bin. Yeah, just bring him in, let it go. Like, just tell him to cut it out and let it go.
Do you feel like Brad kind of, I know you got a very close relationship with Brad. Do you think he deserved to be let go by the club?
I don't think so. You know, they wanted to choose a different direction, and that's the business we live in. I thought I'd, never play again. Like after the Gold Coast, there was a time there where I was looking for jobs.
How many tries have you scored in your NRL career? Hey guys, welcome to another episode on the Let's Trot Show, episode 39. And in case you missed, we have officially announced our winter drop collection now. So make sure you jump online, www.letstrot.com.au, and check out all the cool merchandise officially available to you. Now today, we've got my good buddy, Bryce Cartwright. How are you, man?
Hey, Saucy. Thanks for having me, bro.
You look nervous, buddy.
No, I'm good, bro.
How's things, man?
Yeah, it's good, man. Life's good, happy. Obviously, footy's not going too well at the moment, but rolling with the punches. And, other than that, life's really good.
Well, what's been good outside of footy? Obviously, footy, you just said, is not going too well. So what do you do to keep your cup full?
Yeah, obviously just spend time with my kids. They're up on the Gold Coast living there now. Both kids are in school. Spent a bit of time up there on the weekend, had the bye, and we played up there. So the kids are healthy, happy, and loving living on the Gold Coast.
How's Regan going?
He's good, mate.
He's not for me,
he didn't want to come on this show, so
why?
I was a step. I don't know.
Why is he paranoid for? What's he hiding?
He's not. He's just not comfortable with the podcast. But I know he would tell a really good story, and he'd have a few good stories to tell. So I'm hoping he can get on one day. I'd love him to come on yours.
Well, I want to put you on the spot. What's a good story you can share about Regan?
Nah. I'm not dropping anything on Reg. Nah, I can't do that to him.
Oh,
there's too
mate.
many. Nah, I couldn't do it to him. Nah, I'm rock solid.
Brotherly love makes me absolutely sick. Where did you watch Origin?
I watched it at home. I got back from the Goldie 2 minutes before kickoff. Yeah, so
Okay.
Sat down and watched it, and thought it was one of the best games I've ever
Wow.
watched. It was intense. It was brutal for 80 minutes. Really happy to see New South Wales win, and
100%.
it was a really good watch.
Mate, I thought it was one of the most physical games I've watched this year by far.
Yeah,
By far.
the intensity in it was crazy.
There's no way. I reckon 3/4 of those players aren't playing this week. There's no way.
They all deserve a rest.
I agree. What about your mate Mitch Moses? What
Oh
a
man!
game. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
Oh
was-
my god.
I was happy for him. He there's no one more deserving than Mitch. Obviously him as a person and as a player, and how hard he works, and how passionate he is, and for the way that he played and went out there and delivered. And it was also sad, what happened to him in the last few minutes, but to go out like that and to finish the season like that, how he did, and for New South Wales and everyone back here, was just awesome to see for him.
Yeah, worst timing as well. He's so officially out of the season with that bicep injury. Have you had a bicep injury before? Or?
Yeah, I've actually, both my biceps are torn.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they're obviously the higher up ones, so I can still play with it. But it's not like Mitch's one where they have to have the surgery. And seen Adam Reynolds and Jamal Fogarty have had the same ones.
It's been a weird year, eh?
Yeah, it's been
all that Suncorp
yeah,
too.
all that Suncorp.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very strange. But I don't know. It's obviously disappointing and going to lose Mitch, and obviously with how hard it's been for us. But I'm just happy to see he got to finish the game the way he did and go out like that to finish the season.
Okay, what was your thoughts on the scuffle? You reckon it's a bit of overkill?
Yeah, I mean, like the refs obviously have a job to do, but I don't think anyone should have been sin bin. Like I think he just
Seriously.
needed to bring him in and just say to him, just cut it out, just play footy, and then just leave it at that. But
I agree.
in saying that, like a player from each team got sin bin, so at the end of the day, it was fair. But just bring him in, let it go. Like just tell him to cut it out and let it go.
Because I think it's a perfect example that the rules have to be, I guess, changed for Origin for this kind of.
Yeah.
You got to be a bit more lenient. Like I feel, there's an analogy I kind of read, and it's if you put black ants and red ants in a jar, right? They won't bother each other, they won't disturb each other. But once you shake it, they start wanting to kill each other and fight, right? I think that's Origin. You put the players on the field, the build up, all the external pressures, the hatred involved.
100%.
Mate, you're walking a fine line. Like players are going to be in each other's faces. They want to kill each other. They hate each other's guts.
100%,
Like you go out, like you would know, like you go out to hurt each other, not intentionally, but you want to kind of obviously put it on the opposing player or opposition, right? And Origin is everything's just heightened. It's fiery. It's passionate.
And a decider at Suncorp.
Come on, mate. Like you're like it was always going to happen. I actually thought that punches were going to be thrown, but not one punch was thrown.
Yeah,
like it was a bit. Come on, I can understand from the NRL's perspective that it wasn't a good look because they're trying to stamp out all this stuff that's happening in grassroots. You know, families and parents jumping in, and I get that, but people don't invest their time and energy in Origin if there isn't a bit of like push and shove. That's the honest truth.
Yeah, well, 90% of the fans want to see that.
You know what I mean? Seriously, everyone loved it. It's all over social media. Everyone's preaching about it, loving it. Like, how good was it? You know, it adds to the theatre. I know the NRL aren't too happy about it, but I know the broadcasters will be. Honestly, I think it was a bit overkill. Like, I know I'm harping on about it a bit, but you know, with Cam, his example, he was still on the sideline. Like, he's allowed to be anywhere as long as it's not in the field of play. He didn't throw one punch. He ran in to defend his teammate, which is a natural thing to do. And he was just pulling off bodies. Like, mate, it was 11 on 1, 11 on 2. Jerome was on his back, absolutely piled on. And then I think it was Brian. Yeah. He was in row B at the time.
I can understand where Cam's coming from,
what I mean?
Because like you can't just sit there, you know. Like it's a different story if he runs in and you know King hits someone or something like that, and on the field, yeah, he's just trying to get in there and break it up. So,
mate, if he was sent off that game, Jeremiah Nanai needs to be jailed for what he did.
Yeah,
like we stamped out the late shots on half, and I think you've copped a few late shots when you've played it at the back, and then you copped that shot at the back, that late shot.
Yeah,
that was probably even worse. Like he was.
Well, Romy wasn't even looking.
He wasn't. No? He went. Yeah, it was the worst whiplash effect.
Yeah.
He could have been seriously injured. Yeah. But enough about that. I want to speak. I want to put this. I don't know. It's a bit hypothetical, but you know, for next year. Do you bring back Nathan Cleary as your halfback? And you're mates with both of them.
Yeah, I know you're asking the wrong person here.
Yeah, I want your honest opinion. I know it's hypothetical.
Yeah,
but like, if you were the coach, what would you do?
I think you got to find a way for Nathan, Mitch, and Jerome to play, like all three of them. I don't know how that works, but I can't pick between the three of them because they're all pretty different in their own way. You know, Romy's real unpredictable, flary. Nathan's very controlled, and Mitch is controlled as well, but then he can also explode off the mark. His kicking game's unreal. Like, they're all different in their own way, but if I was the coach, I'd be finding a spot for all three of them.
I agree. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's Michael Maguire's headache. I know you played with Nath in 20s at all?
No, I didn't play with him in 20s.
Oh, you did play. I know you obviously, we played first grade together. He was 18 and what, you were 21?
Yeah, 18 and 21.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Feels like a lifetime ago now.
It does, man.
Looking back on it, that was probably some of the funnest years I had, you know, and it went so quick back then. And looking back on it, geez, we had some good times.
Fuck, Carty.
We had a really good crew. Like we had you guys, the older boys, Latsy, yourself, Sowie around.
Mez.
Yeah, Mez is the best. I don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah,
he's dropped off the face
he's fallen off the face of the earth. We miss him, but if you watch him, Mez. We had an awesome crew. Are you surprised in the growth and rise of like Jerome, Nathan, Yowie? You played with Yowie?
Yeah, Yowie. Yeah, I played a lot of footy with Yowie. We played SG ball together, 20s, come through NRL together. Just to see the development of all those guys, you know, Romy. From the same junior club I was at. So I seen him play from when he was a kid.
What junior? St. Mary's, wasn't it?
St. Mary's,
Bandwagons.
Yeah, nah, they breed them good out there, St. Mary's. But yeah, like the development of all three of those guys is like, it was so, like each year they just kept getting better and better. And what they've driven out there at Penrith from where we were, you know, like
conveyor belt, brother.
We'd get 2,000-3,000 people to a game, you know, playing there on a Monday night, and you'd rarely see Penrith jerseys around. And to see that now, it's pretty cool. Obviously, I have a family tie with the club, and it'll always hold a soft spot in my heart because that's where I debuted, and I grew up there, and I still live out there. So it's cool to see, you know, what they've done and the players they've become, and you know what they've driven out there.
Let's talk about Yowie. Obviously, you've got a close relationship with him. Out of those three that I just mentioned, he's probably the one that surprises me the most. You know, he's always been kind of the Mr. Fix-It. Like he's played in multiple positions. I remember debuting against, who was it? I think it was Newcastle at home as an 18-year-old string bean. I think in the centres, I think he was.
Yeah, he played centres, yeah.
And where he is now, mate, he's absolutely he's blown my expectations. Same with you?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like I said, we played SG ball together and he was coming off the bench and then sometimes he'd start in the back row and then we played some cup together out at Windsor Wolves.
Oh, Windsor Wolves. Oh, yeah, those were fun days. Oh, that's where I started.
Yeah, we had some good times out there. But, you know, Yoey, like you said, he was Mr. Fix-It. He'd play at centre, back row. He'd cover anywhere, really. And he was just always someone that was very reliable. And
reliable's the word, yeah.
He couldn't pass the ball back then.
I know.
He couldn't pass the ball. And he's turned into one of the best locks in the game, if not the best. And to see his rise was really good. Like he worked really hard. Good man, come from a good family.
Very
tough, reliable, and just to see how far he's come and everything he's done. Yeah, I'm really proud of him.
I don't think you know this story, but I'll share it. I think it was the beginning of 2020, and you know the team list got announced for round one. He actually wasn't going to play first grade that year. Well, the start of the year, I should say. James Fisher-Harris tore his pec in the gym. I think it was bench pressing. And then Yoey earned a bench spot, I think, for that first game. And after that, he hasn't looked back. It was crazy. Like, for someone that was going to start in the reserve grade in 2020 to now to just winning the Origin Series, playing for his country, winning multiple grand finals, what a rise. Like, it was just, yeah, it just blows my mind how he could have let that moment really take advantage of him and like you know kick stones and stuff like that, but things just work out and he's stuck at his craft. Like you said, he never knew how to pass. Like and now he's one of the best ball playing locks in the game. It's just perfect example, great example. What have you been doing in the bye week?
So we played in the Gold Coast on Saturday. Unfortunately, had a loss.
Whole team.
Yeah, but we had the bye after, so stayed up there, spent some time with the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice being up there. They love it up there and got to take them to school, pick them up. So, yeah, just spent time up there relaxing and then got the weekend off here and you dragged me in here, so...
I'm actually surprised you've come. I'm not going to lie.
Well, everyone else was saying no to you.
Like, who's everyone else?
Just Reg.
I did ask Gutho as well. I'm not going to lie. I asked Gutho. But I want to ask, like, speaking of para, you had a pretty strong preseason. Like, everyone comes into preseason optimistic, confident, wanting to train hard. Has the year kind of shocked you the way it's panned out?
Yeah, obviously last year not making the finals, we went back to training very early and we had a really strong preseason, like everyone does, and went into the year confident and we had a really good last trial with all the boys and then went into the round one against the Bulldogs and had a really good game and went out to Penrith and had a tight loss and then played Manly, had a really good win at home and then we lost Mitch that game and I got injured. I was out for about 6 weeks as well.
Had a few injuries this year.
Yeah, broke my rib and
Bailey Simonson as well.
Yeah, Simo. And then it sort of just went downhill from there. I mean, everyone knows how important Mitch is like to our team, and then sort of just slipped away from us after that. And then, yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, you know, where it happened and how it happened. And as you know, when you're losing games, it makes it a hell of a lot harder to get confidence.
You try to look for the answer, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like the harder you try, the bigger the hole. Like it's just the beauty of team sport, I guess. When you're winning, it sometimes can mask some problems as well. Obviously, winning solves everything as well. You come into training confident, happy, just like any workplace. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of that was my next question. I wanted to ask, like, what do you put it down to? Is it the injuries, the disruptions? Like, do you feel like Brad kind of? I know you got a very close relationship with Brad. Do you think he deserved to be let go by the club?
I don't think so. But that's obviously where the club wanted to, you know, they wanted to choose a different direction, and that's the business we live in. And,
exactly.
I know I can speak
for
most of the players,
definitely.
if not all, that we would have still loved to have had him there, but that's the way things go. And we were just lucky enough to keep Baz there because Baz is someone that I get along with really well, and so do all the boys, and we've had him there the last few years. And yeah, we've just been lucky enough to have him, and it's it's been upsetting not being able to sort of reward him for the way he's looked after us and, you know, the way he's treated us, because he's a really good coach and he's a really good person, and obviously Brad too. You know, Brad, it's on our backs. You know, like we aren't producing results at the end of the day. We're the players out there that are capable of, you know, keeping a coach's job. Like we can fix it if we're winning games, but it just wasn't the case, and the club chose to go in a different direction.
Do you feel responsible?
Like as players, there's a responsibility there. Like we need to win games. You know, the coaches don't step out in the field; they do everything they can, and we just weren't delivering, and we're still not delivering at the moment. Like we're good in patches, and then games just slip away from us. So I don't know what it is, and it's just something that we need to fix. And you know, we're still obviously training hard, and you know, we're not giving up without a fight. So just got to get it done.
Do you know if Baz will stay at the club for next year or beyond?
Yeah, I'm not too sure yet.
Not too sure.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so. Get along with Baz really well. He's helped me out a lot, and
he captained Jason Reynolds back in the day. They were teammates.
Yeah,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's
rugby
strange.
league, mate. Rugby league.
But I've known Baz since I was 18, 19 years old. Out of Penrith. And he's a really good man, really good coach. So I'm hoping he stays on.
I agree, man. One of the best attacking minds in the game. Have you had much to say to Jason Reynolds? Have you had a conversation with him yet? Has he had a conversation with the playing group? Like,
I haven't spoke to him yet. He spoke to a few of the leadership group boys, and I think I had him as an assistant coach in the 20s Origin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. It was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
I'm getting
wow.
old. But obviously, I don't know a lot about him, but everyone that speaks of him speaks very highly, and he's obviously been in some really good systems, and he's a really good player as well. So, it's going to be exciting to meet him and get to know him.
Do you feel like the next few games will be like an audition for you for, I guess, a starting spot for next year? Like, or do you feel confident you will cement that? Like, what's the mindset got? Because obviously, as a new coach coming to a club, I feel like it puts everyone on notice as well, which could be a good thing for most of the playing group. You know, no one gets too comfortable. Yeah. What's the kind of mindset you're going and approaching for the next few games? Yeah,
to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about the next year and what it brings yet. It's more so focusing on improving now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we've been on a bad losing streak, and we've had guys debut, and we've had milestone games when we haven't been able to reward those guys with wins. So it's about finishing the year strong, and, obviously we're on the bottom of the ladder, really, with the Tigers. So it's just about trying to win those games each week and, finishing off the year strong and not sort of, focusing on next year, just worrying about each week as it comes.
Love it, brother. Well, I got you a little gift because I know I was like pulling teeth out to get you here today, so I thought I'd reward you. And our proud sponsor SHOEGRAB have gifted you a pair of sneakers, brother. What are you, size 7,
bro.
size 8?
No, that was when I was 6 years old, man.
Well, dive into that. Let me see what you got, brother. Let's have a look. A bit of a surprise.
Any cash in here?
Maybe later.
Oh, you got me some TNs.
How? You know what? I feel like you are a TN guy.
I'm a Westie through and through. So these will work well,
sick.
bro. Yeah.
They're actually pretty
I need
sick.
to grow the mullet back now.
I have a bit of yellow there, Parramatta colours, blue as well.
It might be a game day shoe.
Yeah, I like that. Speaking of game day shoes, in the World Cup for Lebanon, we had it compulsory to wear TNs on game day. It was like a game day. Yeah, it was bad.
Did Mitch wear them?
Mitch got him. Yeah, I know Mitch out of all people.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the most Aussified Lebanese bloke I've ever met in my life. There was actually a photo shoot I saw him do back in the day, and he had like straighted hair. I swear he used a hair straightener.
No.
He had like a loose top, these chinos, and he was wearing thongs. And I was just like,
we got to get that photo, man.
You got to check it out on WhatsApp. It's bloody hilarious. Let's talk about your junior days. Obviously, you played for St. Mary's, Penrith Junior, through and through. You had a proud and strong connection to the club, obviously by blood. Merv Cartwright, your grandfather, one of the proud pioneers and fathers of the club. Your uncle John, even your dad even played for the Panthers, didn't he? So what was it like growing up as a kid through that system? Like, were you always did you always feel that strong connection with the club? Did you always feel that expectation as well, having that Cartwright name?
Yeah, I was always very proud. Obviously grew up around football. That's all I ever knew. Played out at St. Mary's my whole junior career. Family's still involved there. Dad's the president of St. Mary's there now. So It's a really good base for young kids coming through, especially out west. Like everyone lives and breathes football out west, so that's all we ever knew. And then growing up, playing in the Penrith Juniors, all you wanted to do was get that, the training kit, walk around the Penrith Plaza and get the backpack on.
Oh, Penrith Plaza. Takes me back.
So it was good. And I sort of felt a bit of pressure when I was younger coming through.
You've never shown it, but playing with you anyway. I've never seen you. I don't know. I feel like you've got a pretty cool, collected kind of.
I've always been pretty calm and relaxed, and sometimes that played to my advantage, and sometimes that played to my disadvantage. But that's just who I am as a person. I've always been a pretty calm person, and but like I said, I did feel a little bit of pressure, but it was probably just more so at the start, like, am I only there because of my name, or like I need to train a lot harder just to prove myself that I'm not here for my name, and that always drove me to train harder as a young kid, and but yeah, there was nothing else doing for me. It was always football, so I knew I was going to do that from a young age, and that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, because that would have been a mountain of pressure for a kid. Like all the family members that have been before you, and the investment and the love and the energy they've put into that club at Panthers, like they've all have a certain journey, and obviously now you're the next in line. Like that didn't bother you at all, like with all the expectation. Did you feel that?
Yeah, nah, sometimes I did, but then at the end of the day, I was just having fun. Like I loved playing football.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I was always playing football or basketball. It's just, yeah, sometimes I would feel it as I got older, 16, 17 years old. And, but it was sort of, I just didn't want to let anyone down. That was the biggest thing. Like I just wanted to live up to what everyone thought I might have been or could have been. And, I was just really passionate about playing football, and I was terrible in school, so there was no other option for me.
You and me both. Yeah. You and me both. I feel like obviously you debuted and you had a lot of promise as well to stay at Panthers. I think you even extended to 2021, if I'm correct. But I feel like you were only there for 3 years, and you just abruptly left. And I've never asked you this. I don't think I have. And why did you leave? Why did you decide to go elsewhere?
Yeah, so I debuted in 2014.
Yep.
And then
good run that year too.
Yeah, we had a good run. And then I played about 7 or 8 games, and I broke my ankle really bad.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then got it all healed, played the whole 2015, and then 2016 Hook came. That was a fun year.
Do you remember day one?
Yeah.
Do you remember day one of preseason? Tell me you remember.
I remember Jamison Oval a lot.
Jamison Oval. Can you please just tell everyone what that day was like?
Oh, man. We would run like these 2.5 kilometer runs, and then you follow it up by 3 1.2s. And if you don't beat your time, each time you're doing Malcolms.
Do you remember how thick the grass and how wet it was? Oh.
Those days still haunt me.
Me too.
The amount of running we did was ridiculous.
Do you remember Leilani last year? Like, day one, man. Come on, get it together. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Oh, man, he rocked up, and then Hook just look at him. He was ruthless, Hook. He was fucking ruthless, man.
I feel like it was good, though. It was what we needed, because we had a lot of young players, and obviously Ivan and Hook are two very different people.
Chalk and cheese.
But like looking back on it, it was some of the funnest days.
The best
Like
days.
It was the best. But if I had to do a preseason like that now, I'm tapping out. There's no way I'm doing it.
There's no chance. I remember Mez came a week later, so we at least had some K's in our legs.
And he was the worst trainer.
Oh, mate, you can't get those big quads like running 2.4s.
His chafe was ridiculous.
Oh, I've never seen someone pull out from chafe like Mez did. Oh, my God.
But then he would get on the field and he'd play 80 minutes. He'd have
freak.
20 runs, 50 tackles, and he'd be fine.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense. I miss Mez. I miss you, man. Far out. Some good times. So go back. Why did you feel like you needed to leave?
Yeah. 2017 was my last year there, and I injured my knee, and I missed sort of the middle part of the year, and then came back for the finals, and I think we beat Manly in the first final, and then we lost to Brisbane up at Suncorp.
Yes, that was a close game too.
And then came back the following year pre-season, and I had some things sort of happen outside of footy, and I was just about to have my son at the time, and there was an opportunity for me to go to the Gold Coast and reconnect with Garth Brennan, my old coach, and it just seemed like a really good fit at the time, and it was sort of just a fresh start sort of thing, and just an opportunity to, change, and I don't regret it at all.
You don't?
It's obviously it didn't work out up there, but it taught me a lot of good life lessons, and obviously my kids are living back up there now, and they've made a beautiful home for themselves, and they love it up there. So that came out of that. But it was just more so just a fresh start for myself and my family at the time, and like I said, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, I was gutted that you left. Like, I obviously had we're very good mates. Like, we were close with everyone in the playing group. We all loved you. Obviously what you had off the field, obviously you had a lot of distractions and a lot of things happened that you couldn't predict. But you never, again, like, I feel like you never really showed that. Like, did it really, like, how were you really affected by everything that's happened?
Yeah, I think at the time, because there's just so many things happening, it's hard to...
Because it happened at the end of the season, so it's not like we saw you coming in every single day, right, to check in on you. Like, I feel once we heard that you were leaving, like, we kind of didn't really get to reach out or connect. So no one really checked in on you with everything that was going on. Like, how did you deal with that? Yeah,
obviously, like, my family, my mum and dad, are really good support for me. They've been there through everything, and I've put them through the shit a lot of times, and they're still there at the end of the day looking after me, and my partner was a big help then, and obviously having our son at the time helped, and that it sort of trumped everything, just worrying about her and looking after him, and then that was obviously the chance to move away and start fresh with a brand new son, and start a family, and that was exciting times. But like I said, I'm just a pretty relaxed person, and sometimes it can be a disadvantage and an advantage, but I had a really good support base around me. And
perfect.
It was sad leaving because I was so close with the boys there, and
club especially, far out.
Yeah, and I had such good relationships with the boys there, and we grew up together basically, and then obviously made friends with you guys that come into the club, and the guys we had there, like yourselves, like it always resonates with me because you's always made us feel so welcome as young kids, and that's always a big memory for me, how I treat kids coming into a club now, making them feel a part of it, and so I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that. Do you always think in hindsight? I know hindsight's a beautiful thing. Do you ever think what life would have been like if you did stay at Penrith?
Yeah, sometimes.
Surely it crosses your mind.
Yeah. Obviously, now they've got all those premierships, and that would have been
at the wrong time, didn't I?
Yeah, we both didn't get it. But yeah, sometimes I do. But then it's like each decision I made put me on a path to where I am now.
True.
And I love my life. I have 2 beautiful children, and at a really good club now, really good friends. Reconnected with an old former teammate in Reg, and we've been really close over the last few years again. So
you guys were inseparable. It was sickening at Penrith. Sickening. Cards, going for coffees together. You practically were holding hands wherever you went.
I love Reggie.
Oh, good. Same body.
Come on, bro.
I'm sorry. Wait, you reckon you got a better one than him?
Yeah, 100%.
So you felt like you needed a change. So you've had to have that honest and hard conversation with Big Gus.
The Godfather.
Your dad. What was that conversation like, and how did it come about?
Yeah, it was tough. I don't really remember the finer details of how it all started, but...
You were pretty tight with him.
Yeah, he looked after me. He was someone I admired and someone I still really do. And he was always honest with me and about how I was going or what I was doing right and wrong. And he's such a polarizing figure, so when he speaks, you listen.
100%.
And then, when we sort of figured out that I was going, it was pretty tough. But I haven't seen him too much lately, but every time we see each other, we have a good smile and a laugh together. So it's always nice seeing him. But yeah, like I said, it was pretty hard leaving, and but it's the way that goes.
Do you recall the conversation?
Nah, not really. I know there was a few explicits said at the time, and it was a bit heated, but we walked out, shaking hands, and everything was all good, and it's all good now today, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, beautiful. So you signed with the Gold Coast Titans, moved your whole life up there. You actually had a connection with the club, obviously with Brennan there, Garth Brennan, 20s coach, and then the Penrith assistant coach for NRL, but also your uncle, obviously coached the club. You had your cousin there, Jed. So was that the logical choice to go to Gold Coast, or were there other clubs kind of circling at the time?
No, that was the only club, because I obviously signed a long deal with Penrith at the time, but the opportunity came up to go reconnect with Garth, and I seen the Gold Coast as a team that was on the up, and it's something I wanted to be a part of, and like I said, a fresh start as well. And went up there, and it obviously didn't work out, and I've said before, I probably didn't focus enough on my game at the time, and probably didn't try and improve as a player, and had a lot of other things happening at the Gold Coast at the time, and that's probably a time where I let things get to me a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I obviously didn't show it, as I do, but you know what it's like when you're playing bad footy, and people are coming at you from every corner.
It's very noisy.
My confidence was really down as a player and as a person, and it took me a while to dig myself out of that, and get back to someone that loved the game, because there was a time there where I probably didn't enjoy playing footy because I wasn't playing to a standard that I know I could play at, and it was more so hard. You want to be the teammate that everyone wants to play with, but I know at the time, my teammates probably didn't, I'm going out in their field and they're probably not trusting me, and looking back on that, for myself, it's an embarrassing feeling. It's not something you want to feel, and it was sort of just, I sort of dug myself that hole. I put myself there, and it was tough to get out of.
Did you speak to anyone about it, about what you were going through? Did you? I don't feel, because I feel like you would have.
Like, obviously I had my partner there, and we had our son, and it was a bit hard too, because we didn't have any family support up there really. And
even like the team welfare officer, like
I mean, us growing up like in that age and generation, we weren't really told to speak to anyone, and
it's true.
Times are different now, which is really good. We have a lot of support, and it's not considered as weak to speak up, or if you need to talk to someone, but that's just how I always felt. Like you just get yourself out of your own hole, like the voices in your head, you got to battle them. And in the sport we play, I think that's a really big thing. Like, you need to do it yourself at the end of the day. Like, you can obviously speak to your family and rely on them, but I never really found that someone outside of that would help me. Like, their words wouldn't resonate with me or feel helpful at all, or just go in one ear out the other. So it was always something that I needed to get out of by myself, or with them family support. I
feel like with professional athletes, you live two lives, right? You live life outside of footy. You got your family, staff, and everything that comes with that. And then you obviously got your career. What happens on the footy field, with training with your teammates. You obviously said that you had a lot of stuff happen off the field, and then it wasn't working out for you on the field as well. And was that because you knew you had, you believed in yourself so much, you knew you had the potential, everyone knew you had the potential as well, but the performances weren't kind of coming on the field, and you weren't performing it ultimately? And that's when the frustration started coming out as well. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, that was the hardest thing about it, because I knew that the player I was then wasn't me. Like, I had a really good start to my NRL career, junior career, all the way through to up until I came to the Gold Coast, and then
didn't have that much adversity.
Yeah, like, I never really there was never really a stage in my life where I had to sort of fight my way out of something like that. Like, everything came pretty easy to me from a young age, without sounding arrogant, but I always trained hard and played footy, and
you were good at it.
And I backed it up with what I did. But when I got to the Gold Coast, that wasn't the case, and I'd never put myself in a situation like that. So that was something new to me, and it did take its toll on me, because it was foreign territory to me. I didn't know what it was like to cop all that hate and let people down, and like I told you, it was more so letting my teammates down what affected me the most.
Yeah, because I still don't feel like you actually have well, listen to you speak. Like, you've experienced a lot in your career, and like the expectation as well, that alone would have been massive to deal with as a kid coming through, right? And then all the off-field stuff that's happened to you as well that you experienced, the frustration of going to Gold Coast, having big hopes again, pressure, expectations going up there as well, things not working out. Brennan got sacked after 1 year, wasn't he? So I think a lot of things have happened that anyone naturally in your position would have been so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So hard. So I think you might feel that it's an excuse and you don't want to kind of really admit that all that stuff happened, but mate, what you went through is like fucking difficult, and I feel like you've done fucking pretty good to get to this point now where you're at. Like, you've had to deal with it.
Yeah, because there was probably times there where I thought I'd never play again. Like after the Gold Coast, there was a time there where I was looking for jobs, like coming back to Sydney. Yeah, because I didn't really have anything. When I left the Gold Coast at the time, I didn't have anything before I came to Para. I was just going to get a job and play at St Mary's. And that was obviously, wasn't a surprise to me because I wasn't really playing good. Like I was playing shit. So I was resigned to the fact that I was probably going to have to give up footy, like in the NRL. And I didn't want to go over to England. That wasn't an option at the time. So
you've got a young family.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave them. And that was when me and my ex split up at the time too. So they moved back down to Sydney at the time, and then followed them back down there. And it was just going to work. And then thankfully enough, the Para thing happened, and I haven't really looked back after that.
Yeah. Well, I reckon your grandfather Merv will be rolling in his grave when it was announced that you signed for Parramatta out of all teams. Being a Penrith junior, you obviously know the Battle of the West and all the hatred that comes with that. So how did you connect with the club?
Yeah, so obviously moved back down to Sydney. It was 2020. Yeah, 2020, halfway through the year. Family moved back to Sydney and asked the Gold Coast for a release because I wanted to move back to Sydney. Didn't want to live up there by myself. Wanted to be close to my kids, and didn't have anything. And then my manager asked for an opportunity at Parramatta, and then I met Brad, and Brad was always someone that I was very fond of because I seen the way he treated his players and spoke to them, and just how passionate he was. And when I met him, I was pretty much sold straight away. And then signed there for a year, and then haven't really looked back. Brad was someone I really needed at the time.
I was about to say that.
Because I was lost, and I was on the verge of giving up. Like Para was the only club that wanted me. Like they wanted to give me a chance, and I'm so grateful that they did, because the friendships I've built there, and the way I've been able to sort of improve as a player again, and just the happiness I get out of being there, and saved me, man. Yeah,
that's crazy. What qualities make Brad a really good coach?
I've said this before. He reminds me of my dad. Like
really?
He's really really passionate, really
role model, strong
really
role model.
caring, strong role model. Angry when he needs to be, he has that look. But he was just honest with me from the start. Like he told me what he thought I was good at, what he thought I was bad at, what he could do to help me. And I feel like he instilled that in me from day one. And there was times there where at the start at Para, I was still going back to my old ways, and there is still times there where I can step away from the things he has taught me, but I feel like overall he changed me from the player that I was coming through, this player that just wanted to do anything on the field. Didn't really care about what happened. Didn't care about making a mistake. Doing the fundamentals of the game, the kick chase or tackling from mark, the hard stuff. I never really did that in my game, and because I think I played everywhere. Growing up as a kid, I played more in the halves than I did in the forwards, and like everything was more attack for me. Like I just wanted to attack, so it was something that I had to learn in my game. To be a proper professional back rower in the NRL, it's a hard job, and I think he instilled that in me, the qualities that needs to be done by a back rower.
No one knows this, but I had a conversation with Brad a couple of times to come to the club.
I would have loved you there.
Can you imagine? Oh my God. I was kind of in the NRL wilderness in the last year, and I still was like holding on and fighting to keep going, even though I had probably one foot out the door. But like, try to tell someone to give up your passion and your love, like just like that, like, click of a finger. It was very hard.
Yeah.
And I think I was speaking to Mitch, and I thought, will there be an opportunity for me to come Parra, you reckon?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to fight for a spot if I need to. And he's like, I'll speak to Brad.
Yeah.
He spoke to Brad, had a conversation with him as well. I can understand where you're coming from in terms of Brad. Like, yeah, he sounds like a really honest guy, straight up.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got a good balance when he can put an arm around you when you need it and when you need a rocket up you. So I respected him with that. And I think all they had, it was pretty late in the piece. So pretty much the roster was pretty much done. And all they could offer was just like a training trial deal. And I was like, it wasn't that I didn't want to take it. It was just that I couldn't support my family if I took it. You know what I mean? $1,000 a week.
Yeah,
like
100%.
These days, especially, is fuck all. If I was a young kid with no responsibilities, still living at home, I probably would have taken it. But I'm like, nah, I can't do it. And then I pretty much told him I couldn't. And not too long after that, I'm like, you know what? I think I had a pretty honest conversation with my missus, and I was like, I think it's done, man. Like, I think I just have to retire. I think I'm going to retire. It's fucking hard, but yeah, funny that I was actually bumped into about at Mitch. Oh, I knew at Mitch's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was a fun night. He was.
You didn't drink.
I did. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't drink.
Sorry.
You're a burger. You didn't talk to me that night. You were with your Parra teammates. But yeah, funny that. Do you reckon you? Obviously, you've spoken quite highly of Brad. So it shouldn't be no secret that he will find another club.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, he's over at Leeds now. He's
interim coach, right?
Yeah, he's going to finish the year off there, and I don't think it'll be too long before we see him back here in the NRL coaching again for sure.
How did you find out he got sacked? Did it come as a shock, or were there kind of rumors, whispers of going around?
Yeah,
what happened? How did you find out?
It was a shock. Because obviously we didn't really hear anything about it, and then I was at the airport coming home from the Gold Coast at the time, and got an email from our CEO, and that's how I found out.
An email?
Yeah. Sent an email out, and then we had a meeting the next day at training, and basically told, that he wasn't the coach, and they were going to be looking for a new coach.
How did you feel at the time? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was pretty upset, obviously, because he's such a big part of my life, the last 4 years, and he not even just on the footy field, I feel like he really cared about me as a person. He was always making sure that I had time to see my kids, had time to fly up and go see them, and he would always ask about them, and he always made sure that my life outside of football was good, and that's something that I really loved about him, and I was really appreciated how much he cared about me in that sort of sense.
Yeah, I love that. I want to ask you about Blaise Talangi. What about him? What can you share about him? What's he like?
He's a good sort.
He's the way his career's kicked off, not too different to you, almost identical, really. Like, had a lot of hype growing up. Obviously, he's got the potential. Played multiple positions, just like you did.
Yeah.
What position would be his best, you reckon?
Yeah, I still don't think we know.
Far out.
Obviously, he played in the halves in the juniors.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he played in the halves, like all across the back line.
Well.
But, wherever he is, he's going to be a really good player, and he's shown that this year. Like, he's played centre, wing, fullback. It's hard to sort of see what he is at the moment, and but he's doing a really good job for us on the wing. and then I think he's in the centres at the moment this week coming up. So I'm excited for him. He's pretty quiet. He's pretty relaxed. He does remind me of myself when I was young, actually, in a way. But yeah, I'm excited for him and his career, and looking forward to playing with him and seeing it unfold.
I can't picture you like being that older head now. Obviously, I just can't picture him. I feel like you haven't aged at all since you're doing good as well.
I look like this when I was 16.
Do you obviously get to now? You understand and see a different perspective of footy, like now that you're an older head.
Yeah, I do.
You know what I mean?
It is funny looking at it like though I'm the old guy, and then looking back when I was the young guy. Then I'm looking at old guys then like Nigel Plum or. And I'm like, do these guys see me as that, like an old guy like that? Plummy. I love Plummy.
Warhorse?
Yeah, but I'm just like, far out. I'm that old. Like 29's old in football years now.
You remember like the older guys, telling us make sure you stretch, you recover, make sure you're fucking getting good sleep in. And
didn't listen to him at all.
Shut up, old boy, loser. Like,
now that's come back to bite me in the ass. I
have
to warm up. I have to warm up for 2 hours before I get on the field.
How bad is it? Oh my God, the last couple of years.
I have to warm up before I go play with the kids in the playground.
Like my debut year was with Ciro, and oh my God, I used to always remember him, David Simmons. Oh, there was one more older head in there. I think maybe it was Michael Gordon. And they'll be in the gym early, rolling. Nudo, Clint Nudo. They'll be stretching and they'll be pulling on these facials while they're stretching. You can see him really struggling. I'm like, I used to make fun of him.
Yeah, you're like, what's wrong with you guys?
I'm one of those guys now. Hurts. Oh, God. So you played you played in the grand final. I've been losing track, yeah. You played in the grand final 2022. And obviously the universe just works in mysterious ways, and it had to be against your old club.
Yeah.
You lost the grand final. Why do you think you didn't kind of, kick into gear in the 2023 season? Because everyone says, and the narrative is, you have to lose a grand final to win one. Why do you think it wasn't the case for you guys?
Yeah, 23 was
weird year, right?
Yeah, it was a very weird year. I think we lost Dylan for a long time. That hurt us, and then there was periods there where Mitch didn't play and Gutho didn't play. The Origin period really stuffed us up. I think we lost a few players during that game, those series, and we lost Reg for a while. We lost a lot of players, and then we were 1 win away from the 8, and I feel like, if we got there, maybe something could have happened, but it wasn't to be, and then it was just a really mixed year, and especially coming off that high of the 22 year, which was unreal. Like the buzz around the community and leading into the next year was obviously a big letdown for the fans and the community. So and for ourselves, and obviously going into this year again, sort of the same thing.
I feel like the Broncos are experiencing the kind of hangover from the grand final loss as well, like similar to your 2023 season. Like what you just said, just missed out on the 8. Broncos are around 18 points now. They still got one more bye, so say they're on 20, but they're like 13th.
Well, I think you can see obviously how important Adam Reynolds is to their team too. Sort of went a bit downhill from when he got injured. It's just like
similar to you guys, right?
Us with Mitch, it's the same thing. But you see Penrith without Nathan, they still keep winning. So. It's just the way it works sometimes. It
just shows their maturity around that squad, I feel, and their experience.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you still have that within your squad? Like you don't have that enough experience, or do you kind of put it down more to the distractions, like the injuries or the, I don't know. Do you feel like you fell victim of the hype after the grand final because of that narrative, what I just said before?
Yeah. In ways, yeah. And then there's a lot of things that happen on that out of our control, suspensions, injuries, and then, like I told you, winning's contagious, but sometimes losing is too. Like it's hard to sort of dig your way out of that hole, and it's just about you need to stick together and listen to the people inside those four walls, and try and build some momentum and regain it back.
100%. I want to ask you a pretty tough question to answer. Like you've obviously had a lot happen to you throughout your career. You've obviously had the potential, all the hype and the noise. Do you feel like you've reached your full potential?
Nah, probably not. And maybe
that a
that's
regret?
yeah. Not at the moment. I try not to live like that. I try not to think what could have been or live in a regret. Like I told you, everything puts me on a path to where I'm going. But I know, I'm obviously older now, and there's probably things that I wanted to achieve or wanted to do that it might be out of my grasp now. But I wish I, probably focused on the fundamentals of the game when I was younger, and some things could have been different with my career. But in saying that, I've been able to provide for my family. I know football's given me everything. Like, it's given me a purpose for life. It's all I've ever done, and yeah, I don't regret anything. And if I don't ever live up to my full potential, then that's that. But wherever I'm playing, whoever I'm playing for, each game I have left in me, I want to give it 100%. For my teammates, the fans, my family, the community, everyone.
One more question before we get into the fun stuff. I have to ask this. I'm so sorry. But around the COVID vaccine, obviously when 2020 hit, like fucking the whole world stopped. Probably the most weird. It is the weirdest time of our life, our generation. You're one of the I think it was actually the NRL proposed that we had to get a mandatory influenza shot before we came back into training. I think it was after lockdown, right?
Yeah, no, it was 2020.
Yep.
Just when COVID started.
Yeah, but maybe I think it was like after lockdown.
Yeah.
So we needed to get a flu shot to rejoin the squad. I think if that is
It's all a blur, but that was something along the lines of that. They made the flu shot mandatory, and obviously that's
never happened. That was always optional.
Yeah, and what job or place on the earth is it mandatory that you get it? Like a week, after, like, it's just on the spot telling you have to go get this, or you can't train or play or go to work, and your job might be in jeopardy. Like, we'll tear up your contract. You can't play here.
Fuck, what a time.
Yeah, so I obviously was pretty vocal about that at the time, and it was a pretty tough period. I obviously had my 2 children at the time, and then a lot of stuff came out about them and my partner, and it was really hard on her and them, and obviously my family as well, because our names were getting dragged through the mud. I'd had people attack the way we chose to raise our children, and I had to deal with all the other shit with, trying to keep my job and something being forced down my throat that I just didn't feel was necessary. Like, I know how to protect myself.
Especially.
Yeah, I know how to protect myself and keep myself healthy. I don't think I was a threat to anyone else. If they're getting the vaccine, aren't they supposed to be looked after? If that's what they believe in, which was more so the biggest thing about it is I was never against people that got it, and that's how I feel like I was portrayed. I was called anti-vax, all these kinds of things, and had people attack my family. There was reporters taking photos of my kids and my wife in the car park,
That's
like
bullshit.
it was a real big divide at the time, and I was always someone that just believed you need to stand up for what you believe in, and I just didn't want that to be forced on me, because I know I can protect myself and keep myself healthy as I can for my kids. And the biggest part about it was when people were questioning how I raise my children, what I'm doing to protect them. And I feel like as a parent, that's your right to look after your own children. I don't have to ask you what you're doing with your kids, how you look after them.
It's true.
Everyone deserves the right to look after their own children in their own way they can.
What was the standoff like with the NRL? Like, did you have to eventually get it?
No, the flu shot I didn't have to get. Yeah, I got an exemption and I was allowed to go back and play. It took a while to sort out, but thankfully I sorted it out. Otherwise, I might not have been playing again. So, and I know there was a few other boys that didn't want to get it, and they ended up having to get it, which was pretty sad to see, because like no one talks about it anymore.
No,
like,
isn't that crazy? Like, I look back, like mate, I'm triple boosted. Like, I'm bulletproof at this point. Like, fuck. Like, is it a regret? Oh, yes and no. Like, I feel like I didn't need to get 3 shots to protect myself and my family from COVID. It was just a weird time. And I feel like there was an agenda getting pushed out, particularly in the media. Like, if you did not get the COVID vaccine, that you were jeopardizing the lives of of the elderly, like everyone around you. You were a threat to society. And looking back, I don't think that was the case at all.
No.
Like, I feel like getting the flu these days is so much worse than getting COVID. Like,
and
what a time.
No one talks about it anymore.
Nah,
like,
it was like just at the back of everyone's mind.
And they haven't made a flu shot mandatory since. So I don't understand it, but you know, we've all moved on from it, and let's hope nothing like that happens again.
All right, brother. Are you ready?
Not really.
For what's in the sauce. Let's do it, baby. So I've got a bit of trivia questions for you. You should know these, or at least one. Oh no, you should know at least 2.
I hope I know at least 2.
At least 2.
I only want to eat 1 chip.
All right. If you fail to answer, you're gonna have to have a hot chip with sauce, and let's see how you go. Question number 1. How many tries have you scored in your NRL career? A, 31, B, 34, or C, 37? You should know this because you always look at your stats and you always check, you always Google yourself.
No, I'm not you, bro. I'll say 34.
That's bullshit. It's correct. 34 tries.
Yes.
Well done. All right. Question 2. What year did Parramatta win their last premiership? 86, 89, or 81?
86.
Fuck, that was easy.
Was it? So what? That's an easy question, bro.
Was it 86 part?
It was 86.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I Googled it.
Did you hear me?
Nah, I didn't.
You're a liar.
I knew. Nah, I knew.
Oh, okay. Last one. What year did Penrith first come into the NRL? And I'm not going to even tell you the years now. You should know this. You should know this.
Oh, I don't. Give me the choice. That's the game.
What do you mean? All right. It's between 1960 and 1980.
1963.
Wrong. 1967, brother.
Oh.
Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. I won't put too much, okay? Oh, God, that does not look well.
So the chip's hot too?
Oh, no, the chip's not hot.
Oh, mad.
Here you go, brother. Bon appetit. And you can't make a face. Don't make a face. Just embrace it. Just feel the burn. Thoughts? You all right there?
Yeah, it's sweet so far.
Yeah, it's all right, eh? See? It's not hot at all. Is it bad?
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, okay. All right, your last one. Okay. How old am I? Well, mates, you should know this. If you say a number that's too high, I will flip. How old am I? And
33.
34, brother.
Oh.
34, brother. All right. It's not that hot, eh?
That's going to be hot.
Hey, look.
Just waiting for it to drop off.
Hey, it looks like petrol. How is it?
Hot.
No, it's not. Let me cat. Alrighty. Last one, and you got to answer this truthfully. If you don't answer it truthfully, because I know the truth to this, you have to eat another one. Okay. True or false? Did you dog the boys on Mad Monday and spend the day at the beach with your missus? True or false?
True.
Say it again. Say it again.
True.
I knew it. Do you remember that day? Oh, but we were so angry. Yeah? We were filthy. Do you want to? Do you know? You actually don't know what happened. So we're drinking at the club.
Yeah, I was there the night before.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. We went to Panthers.
Oh yeah, you were. But you didn't.
I didn't make the Monday.
Yeah.
I was there the night before.
It's pretty disappointing, Bryce.
I do remember a certain act someone did to a poster.
I think I'm going to talk about it. Stuff it.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside our sheds, we have this big frame. I guess it's I think it was from Man of the Match from the week before.
Yeah, you'd have man of the match from each game.
Yes, right. And you were Man of the Match against Manly. And yeah, you're outside our sheds. And anyway, we're like, where's Bryce? Like, obviously one of the most popular players in the playing group. We're like, that's weird. Where is he? And then someone got wind. Oh, actually, I think you idiot. You uploaded a photo. You were at the beach.
She must have.
She did. That's right. You were at the beach sun tanning while we're all together as a team, celebrating the year, spending time together. So if everyone can just picture this in their head, like, I don't know if they know the scene from Simpsons where everyone with their pitchforks and fire going to Homer's house. Everyone's storming into the high performance center. We rip off the wall this big frame. We chuck it onto the field, and mate, what happened to that thing it's actually scarred me. Like, I remember Mez defecating on it. Mate, it was all foul things that happened that day. Oh my god! But everyone was very angry. And I'm why didn't you come? Why didn't you come?
I was finished from the night before.
That's weak. That's weak. We did. We were filthy. We were very filthy. Anyway, good times. Good times. Well, that's enough of that. Mate, you actually handled that quite well.
Thanks, bro. The sauce?
Yeah.
Nah, it's pretty hot. It's getting to me now.
Oh, really? You are getting a bit red. You can take it to your barbecue after we wrap up. So that envelope in front of you, you're probably guessing what that is about. Do you watch any of our shows?
Yeah, I just watched the clips, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, cool story. And anyway, Josh Reynolds, Grub, was on the show prior to you. So if you want to open up that envelope and dive into that, he's written you a question. Relax, bro. Why are you so nervous?
It's the sauce, man. Ooh, what is the biggest regret in your life? That's deep.
That is deep. Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I don't regret anything. Yeah.
Nothing at all.
No. Because like I told you, everything I
happens
did
for a reason.
or everything that's happened to me has led me on the path I'm on, you know? I play football for a living. I get to hang out with my mates. I've got 2 beautiful children. They're happy, healthy. If I chose another way, maybe I don't have them in my life, or maybe I don't play football for as long as I have. So I don't live life with regret. I know maybe there's some decisions I've made or things I've done that I could have changed, but I don't think I'd go back and change it because it would set me somewhere different. And I'm very happy with where I am, and I'm very content with life.
That is amazing that you said that, because I think majority of us live with regret. I live with regret with some of the decisions I've made in the past, and I look back and, you know, think about what life would look like if I didn't do this or that. And for you to say that, that's pretty powerful, bro.
Yeah, no, it's how I've always felt, I believe. There's no point looking back in the past on things you can't change, and if you do that, then all your energy's going to that.
It's true.
I feel like I need to put my energy forward and to
what's
each
next.
day is how it comes, and that's what brings me happiness. Not worrying about shit that I can't change or things that I should have done. So
that's so good.
You should start living like that, bro.
That's so cool, bro. Nah, seriously, that is so fucking cool. I envy you to have that mindset, honestly. I want to double down on it because I feel like what Grub has just opened up is pretty special. do you look back in time and is there a moment where if you had your chance again, you'd change, or like, is there a sliding doors moment that you feel, what if? You ever have that? So surely you must naturally think, what if?
The biggest one is probably the way I started in the Gold Coast. I wish I knuckled down a bit more and focused on areas that I thought needed improving. I thought I could just not worry about them and play the way I played growing up, and what got me through, Penrith, and probably focus more on the little things in my game that I wasn't really good at and that I needed to improve. That's probably the biggest thing, and just my teammates' probably opinions of me and the way I played up there. That's one of the things I wish I could change, but in saying that, I don't let it sit with me.
Of course.
I let it go. It is what it is, and I can only worry about being better each day for myself, my family, my kids, and everyone around me.
I feel like the Gold Coast, it sounds like an easy place to go, naturally, right? Very comfortable, beaches, cafes, beautiful weather. But I think that's detrimental to a professional athlete. Like, I feel you need to be uncomfortable to bring the best out of you. Does that make sense? Like, you're not the only person that's gone up there and feel like you haven't reached your full potential or played to your best, I feel. Do you feel like that's fair to say? Like, Gold Coast is just a very comfortable place and it's hard to kind of really, I guess, get the best out of yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shortcuts you can take up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perception of the whole thing. But in saying that, I see it as it should be easier because your off-field life is so nice up there. It's so relaxed, and then you should be able to switch over. But in saying that, I guess sometimes maybe you could just be too relaxed, with what you're doing off the field, and then it could translate into work. But in saying that, it shouldn't be like that. But I think that's maybe why I like it out west so much. It's a bit rough out there, and it's where I grew up. But I'll definitely move back to the Gold Coast at some point.
Yeah, speaking of rough, you're nice and clean cut. Complete opposite. Shut up. Anyway, you get to return serve for our next guest. I know who's coming on, but I'm not going to tell you because I think
Does he play footy?
He did.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's the beauty of it.
Yep.
So why don't you grab that pen and paper and think of a question.
Done.
And once you think of that question and you got it in the top of your head, bro, this question could be anything. It could be, oh no, did I just do that? Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Sucked in.
Keep filming, by the way. Oh no! I've touched my eye with that sauce. Oh no!
Well, it gets worse.
Oh no! Well, it is getting worse. Thanks. Can you not sit like that? Can you not sit like that? It's very distracting. Yeah, I can't. I don't know how men sit like that. Honestly, don't understand. Oh, thank you, Hamish. Oh,
You're good.
if you think this will faze me, you thought wrong, Bryce. It's stinging, but no, it's really hot. My left eye's stinging. I don't think I'll recover, Bryce. My left eye's on fire. I just want to do that. Oh, fuck. Sign it, seal it, brother. You got to lick it to seal it.
I've got to lick it.
You got to lick it, yeah. I mean, actually very excited to hear your question.
I'm excited to see who it's to.
Firstly, you did not need to lick it, and secondly, you did
told
not
me to.
You did not need to look in my eyes.
I gazed into your eyes.
You did. I appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. Okay, so as the games kind of go towards the finals, what's like next for you? What do you got planned? What's your mindset?
Yeah, obviously finish the year strong. Need to win some games, get off the bottom of the ladder. Finish the year fit and healthy, and then enjoy a off season with the kids.
Yep.
I've got Reggie's Bucks. Are you coming? Yeah.
You have to say that now? Oh, I'm trying to.
Okay. I just know you're invited, but you haven't said anything on the WhatsApp. Yeah, so I wasn't sure.
The WhatsApp's been quiet.
Yeah. No, but Mitch asked, "Are you coming?" You didn't reply.
Did he?
Alright.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he?
he did,
I think I muted it. I think I muted it. Now, where is it at?
Melbourne. Yeah. Yeah.
What? When is it?
October 27th, maybe. It's the week before Melbourne Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay if you can't come.
No, I'll come. I'll come for one day. Well, how many days are we going for?
Thursday or Sunday.
Yeah, you got Buckley's. I'm going for that long. You got Buckley's. You got Buckley's. You think I'm allowed?
Come to the race day then.
I'll come to the race day.
Yeah, come to the race day.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I've got good memories of the Melbourne Cup. Oh no, was it Cox play with Reg? I think I made him cry that day because he was coming. He was coming at me. Have you heard this story?
Nah.
Yeah, he was coming at me, and I get a pretty bad. I get pretty angry when you're coming at me when I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And so I made him cry.
Oh yeah.
We'll
He goes to water pretty easy, but
yeah, I know. All bark, no bite. I don't want to get in the boxing ring with him, but he's a pretty good boxer. I've got to give it to him.
Yeah, he did
pretty good
well.
boxer.
Yeah.
He'll box your head in and mine.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll see you there.
I hope so. I really hope you come.
How long are you signed for the Eels?
I've got one more year at Para, and then see where we go from there.
Have you had a thought about it?
Not
What's
really.
life after that? Or do you want to stay there?
Yeah, I'd love to stay there. Would love to stay there. I'm obviously going to move back up to the Gold Coast at some point.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because the kids are there. And,
Okay.
they love it up there, and I do love it up there as well. So that's going to happen eventually. But with Parramatta, I've still got one more year, and I'd love to stay. Just got to keep playing good footy, and then see what the coach wants and go from there.
Sounds good, brother. Well, thanks for coming onto the show today.
Thanks,
thanks for opening up as well.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. I love you,
Yeah.
and I wish you the best for the rest of the season.
Love you, bro. Thank you.